Today on the show, I've got a prediction about MrBeast that I really hope doesn't come true.
Did you know that kids today actually view alcohol as a bad thing, according to studies? I'm going to talk about whether or not that's actually a bad thing.
And we help a girl with a problem that we actually struggled with growing up.
All this and more on today's episode of the Blimey Cow Podcast.
Josh, I went to a Justin Bieber show and had an epiphany.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Blimey Cow Podcast. And thank you to our supporters at supportblimeycow.com for making this show possible. A huge shout out to Zian Tinder and Robert Cowler, who became supporters this week. Appreciate you guys.
This week's question is, would you rather have an amazing singing voice or an amazing speaking voice? Again, a question that I immediately know the answer to.
Don't forget to check out our Clips channel. Everything you love about the podcast without the time commitment. Jordan, we just crossed 400 subscribers very recently, okay? YouTube.com/@BlimeyCowClips. And you know what the nice thing is about the Clips channel is that each clip is about just one specific thing. Whereas the podcast, you know, so we recently did an episode where we talked about death and all kinds of weighty topics, but the thumbnail has to be about Nintendo because that's
true.
The thing that people are most likely to click on. So people watch the show and they're in for more than they thought.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
What is this about Bieber? When did you go to a Bieber concert?
Like years and years ago. But what I realized, you know when you go to say a very large church and they're like, oh, and everyone starts clapping, and you think, if everybody in this building actually clapped and screamed, what would that sound like? Because I always see it's like seems kind of loud, but then like I look around and nobody around is actually clapping, and I think, who's clapping out here? Is this just noise that they're pumping in?
The Matrix turned the applause now button on.
That's what I'm wondering. So then I was thinking, wow, I've always thought, what would it sound like if everybody just screamed at the top of their lungs? Well, I was at a Justin Bieber concert, and I was in a room full of like 20,000 screaming girls.
Sure.
And I finally realized what that experience was like.
Piercing.
It was scary. I actually thought I was going to go deaf. It was much like when we were at that Arcade Fire show years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody started stomping on the floor, and we were underneath like where they were stomping because it was like above us.
I'll never forget that.
I thought the building was crashing down. Like I thought there was like some kind of earthquake or something, which doesn't make sense because we don't have earthquakes here. But I got that feeling of, and I started to run, and I was like, it's just people stomping on the floor above us. That was the feeling I got at the Justin Bieber show.
Yeah, I kept looking around the people that worked at the Ryman when that happened. Like, is someone going to stop this? Like, are we going to get crushed to death? I guess that's just the thing that happens.
They didn't care. I actually had to cover my ears. I was like, I can't, this isn't worth it to me. I'm never going to see these girls again. I don't even care about them. I'm closing my ears. Yeah, I'm a wimp. Sure, I don't care. I was amazed at how nobody cared. Everybody was just screaming as loud as they could.
This is all they had.
It's all that they had.
All they had.
And it didn't affect them. And I thought, how is this possible? You're affecting me, but it doesn't bother you.
You know, speaking of horrifying, illuminating experiences downtown, I was in East Nashville this week. I know, that was my first mistake.
Well, yeah, it was.
I hadn't been in East Nashville in a while until recently. And I was jogging. I was waiting on Kelly. She was at the
second mistake
appointment thing. Yeah,
jogging.
I was jogging through East. I know. I really took my life into my hands.
You did.
And I'm jogging around, and you know those bird scooter things that are littered through downtown, just everywhere?
Yes. It's
just complete garbage.
Yeah.
There were all these millennial, like they look like they were our age, just scooting on the electric scooters just down the road, on the road, with cars behind them just like slowly puttering along. And they're all like,
I've seen this so many times.
It was so obnoxious.
You know what I witnessed when I actually saw somebody wipe out on one of those right in front of me. It was like a slightly drunk girl, and she like crashed in front of me, and I like helped her up, and I was like, and she was
well deserved.
And her friend stopped and just looked like mortified, and just turned around and just like looked, and she said, "Well, I guess we're going home now."
I just want to know, all these people these people our age that just wander around downtown, like what's your job? Like, what do you do? I mean, granted, I'm just like in the middle of the day, like jogging in East
What's
Nashville.
your job?
I'm just saying, but at least like,
What do you do?
At least I'm doing something, you know? They're just like scooting around, like not even like they're going somewhere. I saw them go one direction, go back the other direction. And their cars following them both ways. Just like, I'm sitting there like, what if someone in that car, you know, has a medical emergency or something? If you start honking at them, they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's what they want." They're like, "What? I'm doing the I'm on the electric scooter. You're in the gas guzzler back there." It just drove me crazy.
Yeah, well,
I couldn't believe it.
That's what you get for going there.
Yeah, well, I learned my lesson. I was gonna scream at max capacity.
Christian meme review. Now, Josh, my meme isn't. It's not funny. It will bring a tear to your eye. The music. It's so true. The music is what's selling ice 3 days. I swear this guy watched the podcast. The work project. I seriously wonder if the guy who made this, the Nerdy Christian, if he watched the podcast where we talked about Extreme Days. And I'll tell you why. Because this came out 6 days ago. We had just talked about Extreme Days recently, and then I liked this post, and I never like things on Instagram, and he followed me.
Oh, really? Okay, so he's a fan, maybe.
I mean, like, why would he? He knows of Blimey, Cal.
That was funny.
Why would you follow me randomly? I barely even post.
That was deep cut after deep cut. All right, take a look at mine. Oh, you know what? Mine is kind of in the similar vein as what.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
It's gonna bring a tear to my eye.
No, but it's the same kind of idea of like member.
Oh.
Check this out.
Ranking church potluck meals.
Shrimp never got shrimp.
No, never. I wouldn't eat shrimp food.
What was your favorite potluck thing?
Whatever mom made. I didn't eat anything else. I didn't touch it. I swear to you, I didn't touch it. Unless Miss Kathy Snyder made it.
That is true.
Or mom made it. I would not eat anybody else's food.
Miss Kathy always made the best desserts.
Oh, I know. It was ungodly what she would create.
The only ungodly thing that I would ever do at church
was consume.
Eat it. The message.
Wait, Josh, you said that this was one that we struggled with?
Yeah.
Too?
Yeah.
Wow.
When you read it, you'll know exactly what I'm saying.
Dear Josh and Jordan, I'm a single woman in my late 20s who just bought my first home. There's a sweet young man, 23 years old, I often speak to at church with special needs who knew I was moving and asked for my address. Somehow, he and his mom concluded we now lived so close to one another, and he would come visit me sometimes. In actuality, I live 30 minutes away from them, but I still said he could come over sometime with his mom, and I can make lunch for them. That following week, to my surprise, he unexpectedly shows up to my home on his bike. Wow, I made him lunch, as I said I would. Then he wanted to watch Disney Plus until late that evening before eventually leaving. I called his mom later on, and apparently she knew about his travels and was totally fine with it. He rides his bike everywhere, she laughed. I didn't think too much of it until he showed up 3 days later, then again the next week, then immediately the day after that. I've told him, I can't have you over all the time, Timmy, but I guess he still doesn't understand, and I'm too much of a spineless jellyfish to say anything directly to his mom. She's also begun asking if they can carpool with me to church since they now live so close to me, which I politely refused, and now I think I'm on her bad side. Tips. Signed, not sure what to do. Wow.
Now, Am I wrong?
There's no specific instance that I can relate to this, but yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I feel the feeling that she feels.
Yeah.
You're a nice person.
We were
the
people who came to our house growing up.
Yes, a lot, and that was great. But at some point, it was like they didn't understand.
Do you remember when that night that we actively avoided our house because we knew people were there?
Well, and what's weird is that we weren't even alone. We were like at a party with people that we didn't really know that well. But we decided to stay there instead of go home because we knew like every single human being on the planet was at our house that day.
We weren't even there. They would all just go to our house. That's true. I never thought of how weird that is.
I mean,
if people would live at our house,
which was fine, but then at some point when it was like, oh,
when are you leaving?
There's no end to this. Like you don't realize that this is a thing that's happening.
And our parents just were like so nice.
See, they were the parents that our friends never had. That's the thing you got to think about. That's why it wasn't like us. It was like the family. Nobody has people that was just different. I don't really know. Like that's what it was. So they wanted to be there even when we weren't there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It was a very welcoming home.
Which is great. We're super welcoming. But at some point, it's like, we're falling apart. We're falling apart at the seams.
Yeah. This is a tough one. What do you think, Jordan? What should she do?
Here's the thing. You can be a nice person and tell somebody that they cannot come over anymore. That doesn't mean that you're a bad person.
Yeah.
That means that you are a good person because you're putting good boundaries for people. Mm-hmm. Like you can have this guy not come over every second of the day because obviously you want to be a nice person, but you don't want this person to come over constantly because that's not right, you know? So you can set that boundary and then still you be the one who decides the terms and conditions of how this comes about, not the other way around, because clearly there's some social abnormalities here that this person's not understanding. So it's up to you to be the big sister or whatever. Yeah. And that's just, you're the parent in this situation.
I think that the part of the issue for her is that she feels like she's being wrong or bad or selfish by not wanting to spend time with somebody who clearly needs a friend.
Yeah.
I can relate to that feeling. And what helped me was kind of purpose in my mind and say, okay, I am going to go out of my comfort zone to be there for somebody who needs a friend. And since I'm doing that, I'm also going to set a boundary and say, hey, I can only do it at this time and this time and this time. So it's not like I'm saying, look, I don't want to be around you and I feel terrible about that and that's my boundary. Mm-hmm. It's, hey, I want to be your friend.
But this isn't how friends act.
Right.
But this isn't like a friendship if this is what's happening. This is like this weird thing.
And I think that if you can kind of give yourself some grace there to recognize that you are not a terrible person for wanting to set a boundary. And if you're also, still want to have that servant's heart and help this friend out, then it makes it easier to set those boundaries.
Yeah. You are doing the right thing. You're doing the wrong thing by just letting this happen constantly, because it's going to make you bitter and then you're not going to be necessarily the nicest at some point. Right. I've been there.
It sounds like the mom is sort of in a situation where she wants her son to have friends. So she's trying to encourage this friendship, but it's not happening in the healthiest way. I'm trying to, trying to give everybody as much benefit of the doubt here as possible. I don't think there's anybody who's really being a bad person here at all. There's just a lot of imperfect people who all need love and care in different ways.
That's right.
So
you're not a bad person. So get that out of your head. Don't let that hold you back. Josh, we have a new segment.
Oh,
it's
boy.
Called we have two new segments. It's called Word of the Week.
Well, if we actually do that second one, you never know on this show.
No, you never know. Let's just start with Word of the Week. So Josh is gone. Well, so in Word of the Week, this is the section where we talk about a word that needs to not exist anymore in the vocabulary of the masses. Random people who use this to sound intellectual. You know what I mean? There's certain words that people just need to stop using. And that is where Word of the Week comes into play. And as a special guest to give us the Word of the Week, we have Fred.
Hi!
He's come straight out of Sesame Street.
Compton. Oh, yeah, Sesame Street.
Yes, Sesame Street. And what is the word of the week, Fred?
The word of the week is... I already have it memorized. You don't have to show me.
Good.
The word is bullish. Bullish. I just want to make sure that's clear what I'm saying because my voice is a little funny.
It does sound like you're maybe saying...
Bullish.
It might sound like you're saying a bad word.
I'm not saying a replacement bad word either by saying bullish. The word is literally bullish.
Well, Fred, can you give a definition for bullish to the people?
Yeah, bullish means that you're optimistic that something is gonna happen.
Wow. Thank you so much, Fred. It's been great. We'll see you next week on Word of the Week.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Now, Jordan, I've only heard the word bullish in the context of stock trading. People talk about bullish or bearish, but it sounds like you've...
Oh, the scientific community is just loving this word.
Oh, is that right?
On Twitter, everything is bullish. It was a little bullish. They sounded bullish. It just annoys me.
It's annoying when there are words that all of a sudden...
Yeah.
It's like everybody's saying them all of a sudden, as if like we've always been saying.
Yeah, it's like you're this kid in youth group, and there's this cool kid who comes in, and all of a sudden he uses this certain word, like,
say?
you know, the F word and stuff, and then all of a sudden everyone's using it. And it's like, okay, you don't even like this word, you're just using it because this cool kid walked in and said it.
Yeah.
You don't even, why?
Yeah.
We were using optimistic before. Why do you have to use bullish now?
Yeah. It's bullish. I think, yeah.
So that's the word that needs to stop existing. Now, Josh, we have another new section that it's not on the paper, but I've just said, it's my facial recognition section.
Jordan has taken over the show. I don't know what's happened next, but I'm here for it. It's very fun.
So I was at the state fair this week. Such a great fair. It's just a great fair. And
I hate to miss it this week.
I see people...
What year?
All the time. I see people all the time.
You see them. They're everywhere.
That
Hundreds of
I
thousands.
used to know, but I don't know anymore. You
from always
school,
run into random people at the
Yes.
fair you haven't seen in 20 years.
Well, so there's this one girl who went to a sister school of ours. We went to
a nice Catholic school.
We went to a nice Catholic school.
It was a homeschool call.
Yeah, and then she went to another homeschool call that we didn't go to. So anyways, we're still in contact a little bit.
Is it someone I still know?
Yes.
Does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
We never hung out with them that much, but you knew of them.
Okay.
So I was just walking around, and I see, yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, this is mixed with this. This is this person. This is this person.
This is Jordan at the fair.
Who is it? And next thing, I'm walking and I see her. But what I realize is that's not her. No. That's her sister.
No.
And I've never seen her sister.
No.
And I said to myself, if that is not her sister, I will say I don't have super recognition. So I went on Instagram and I messaged her and I said, hey, your sister's here. Just letting you know that. And she said, is she? I didn't know that she was there. And I said, yeah, she is. And she said, well, let me ask her if she's here, if she's there. And she said, Jordan, I can't confirm she is there.
Wow.
And I said, she has she said, does she have some children there? And I said, she's pushing a baby in a stroller. And she said, I don't know why she would have a stroller, but she's at the fair. So like, I don't know, maybe you discovered something about your sister.
Wow.
I
thought you were going to tell me, so I walked up to her and asked.
No.
So sister.
No.
But no, it went even deeper. No, I went on Instagram.
I want to confirm.
I did the research.
But then, I'm just...
You need to be more confident in your super recognition.
I'm trying to be, and I'll explain. And then the story continues.
Oh.
Then we're standing in line for the Ferris wheel. And I want to hop on this thing. So in line, there's somebody like next to us, and zone in, and I'm like, who? This is clear. I mean, it's somebody that I know. I don't know how I know them. I don't know where they're from, how many times I've seen them, if I've ever talked to them. No. And this is just driving me nuts. I was like, does this look like our cousin? Who could this be?
Who could it be?
And then Sarah comes up to me and she was like, Jordan, doesn't that girl look like somebody? And I said, oh, Sarah's a super recognizer too. And I said, Sarah, I have been obsessing over this and I just think I'm alone in this ability. I'm
wow,
alone
you found
here.
a friend.
And so I said, who is it? Who is it then? And she's like, I don't know. But you're supposed to know. And I was like, I don't know. So I'm like,
so much pressure on yourself.
I'm about to like go and ask her, and I'm like, this is so, because she's like younger. And I'm like, this
you don't
want
to be a weirdo at the fair.
But she's there with her dad and her sister, and I kind of recognize her sister, and the dad looked familiar to me.
Okay.
And so this just driving me nuts. So I'm like, am I going to say something? I don't say anything. We go on the Ferris wheel. It's like a really long Ferris wheel, and all I'm thinking about is their faces. It is. You can go in a circle like 5 or 6
I know. You think you just do one loop and you're done. Like, wow, I'm really getting my money's worth here.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. And the whole time I'm like, they're gone. I'm never going to see them again. I told Sarah, I said, look,
it's gonna drive you crazy the rest of your life.
You need to go down there and ask, because you're a girl. You go down and
you're
ask.
You're non-threatening.
Yeah. And I said, could you live with yourself if you didn't ever ask her and you walked away?
Could
and you
you
never
live
knew?
with yourself if I have to, for the rest of my life, not know?
And she looked at me and she said, yes, I could easily. And I said, all right. So I walked up to them. I saw them.
You did it. Okay.
I walked up to them and I said, look, this is gonna be so weird. I have this superpower. I'm kidding.
I've got a reputation to
I was like,
protect here.
I know this is weird, but do I know you guys? You just look so unbelievably familiar. I mean, it's crazy. And the dad looked at me and he was like, no. And I was, and it was this weirdest thing because I was like, no, like I 100% have seen you before. And he just so confidently said no, and he I think somebody said, oh, where are you from? Because it was a little awkward then. Trying to make small talk. Where are you from? And he's like, Canada. And I was like, okay, that's weird. Maybe I don't know this man. Small talk, super awkward. So I'm walking away, and I was just like, what's going on?
What's happening?
What's happening?
What is this?
Like, is my superpower gone?
Yeah, what's going on?
And then I spent all night trying to figure out where I had seen this family from. And I was like, me and Sarah kind of came to it together. I was like, wait, these were just some random people at a convention we were at that I think we might have sat next to or like had one little interaction with them.
No. That's how you knew them?
And that's how I know them.
Wow.
So
one time you saw them.
I also have one more, Josh, that I'll show you at the end of the episode. Face, I want you to tell me who it is.
All right.
Everybody will have to wait till the end of the episode to get that one.
Oh, man. Okay. Thank you. Wow. So many fun segments. Thank you. The weekly prophecy. Okay, so, MrBeast, he's coming out with all these videos. I mean, they're just blowing up one after the other, breaking records, breaking record after breaking barriers.
He's constantly tweeting, "Oh wow, I've broken another record. Oh my word!" He doesn't even expect it. He knows that one of his videos isn't actually that good. Like, you know what I mean? Like come on, when you make a video that's like this. I needed to make a video, and I made this one, and now I'm working towards making the video where all of the different people from every country. Like Battle. I'm excited about that video, but he
released that one.
He did,
yeah,
which was a great video. I did watch that one.
Okay, I haven't watched it yet.
But it's some of these other videos like $1 vacation versus $250,000 vacation. If the dude puts out the video thinking this is gonna be a 5 out of 10, it breaks the record most in 24 hours, and he's like tweeting, "Oh, I knew this was gonna be like okay, sure. Next week something else breaks records." It's like
$1 food, $250,000 food. There you go. That got me through another week.
Yep, breaking records. So I'm tired of it. To be quite frank, Josh. I enjoy the videos, but when it turns into this, there's 100+ million people watching these videos. Okay, the Super Bowl gets 100+ million. It's the same. So why does it feel like nothing is happening? It feels like
everybody. Well,
there's no like.
I know what you're saying, and I do have a rebuttal to it, but
we'll make it because I'm trying to understand.
I'm going to follow through with what you're saying first. You're right. It does feel like, okay, this video is getting more views than the most people that have ever sat down and watched a live broadcast before. And when that happens, for a week after, everybody is talking about the Super Bowl or some finale of some TV show.
It was some impactful thing that they watched.
Yeah.
It was a moment.
The rebuttal to that is that if we were all watching a MrBeast video live at a specific time on a specific day, and that was the only time you could watch it, and people were... Because here's the thing. How many people would watch a MrBeast video if you knew that it was going to be on TV one time on a specific day at a specific time, and that was the only time you're going to get to watch it? I wouldn't watch it. Like, that's not appointment viewing for me, the way that a Super Bowl is. It's just, okay, I can casually watch this at my convenience. So the number of views on that versus like a live Super Bowl type thing is different. But what you were telling me,
I was saying, well, and also I wanted to say this before I continued, is that like the Super Bowl, you're watching that as a community, as like an experience that we're all having together and we're all talking about it. Whereas a MrBeast video or like YouTube in general, it's like I'm sitting down and I'm watching something alone while I'm in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Should I really be watching something while I'm sitting in the bathroom? No, it's like this guilty pleasure thing that you're doing alone. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's different in that aspect too.
Yeah.
But what I'm worried about is that, or what I think is going to come of this, is that all these videos are just breaking record after breaking record that aren't really that like momentously impactful to.
Yeah.
They're not making you think. You're just mindlessly watching something, and 100+ million people are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
That I'm wondering if what is going to come about of this is that MrBeast is going to view himself into obscurity, where so many people are going to watch his videos, but nobody is really going to be talking about them.
Yeah.
Because it's such just like an algorithmic thing. It's not like human.
Right.
And so everyone knows this is a little like, this is like a guilty pleasure.
And is he getting accurate, honest feedback on what is working and what is just self-perpetuation?
What's hacking the algorithm and getting everybody
over
to want it, but not
again.
really want to want.
Because
watch
I
it.
think that he's put out some stuff that I would say justifies the amount of views that he gets, but it's not
like the latest
every
video.
time, right? You know what I mean? But he's getting that same feedback every time. So at some point, how will he be able to go through the weeds and decide this
is a good
works
idea.
and this doesn't? Because if you know, like when I watch a video of his and I enjoy it or I don't enjoy it, I know that there's going to be another one coming down the pike that I will enjoy. But if he's not getting that honest feedback from anybody anymore, because every video he does just keeps breaking records and records and records.
Every video is 1 out of 10, like every single one.
Right. Then how will he know what the good ideas are versus the bad ones?
Because anything he does, YouTube is just going to promote it,
right?
And it's just going to keep getting.
Will he get
billions.
to a point where he's still getting those views, but the videos aren't as interesting, and then all of a sudden one day there's another MrBeast
who's doing stuff that's more human? Like there's some kind of feeling to it, not just like we're on a ball for fun, and it's the same thing every single time. Somehow they hack it, so it's like, oh, they're doing the same kind of thing, but there's this humanness to it. It's not just an algorithm. But it would get less views.
That's what I was going to say.
But more people would be talking about that channel than MrBeast, and he would be getting more views.
Right.
And so it would seem like this weird discrepancy.
It would have more cultural impact, but and the other point is, too, that I don't think that anything other than something that is very, very lowest common denominator is capable of getting that many views. You know,
exactly.
It has to be. And I think that's part of what the kind of the frustration with that kind of content is that when you get annoyed with it, it's because it just has that. This is as appealing to as many people as possible in every moment.
Yeah, exactly.
And what makes something feel authentic or real is that, oh, this appeals to me.
Yeah.
Not everybody would like this.
Yeah, is this really a good thing if every single person wants to watch this?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that a little weird?
Right.
How
It's
is
just
that
some
possible?
Based like animal brain.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. I think that he's actually helping YouTube because I think it's going to propel people to not just chase views. Like, he's going to be the one chasing views. He just wants the number. It's not necessarily about the people. Yeah. It's like he wants... sure, I know he helps people, so people are going to freak out that I say that. But, like, we all know he wants to just be the best on YouTube. That's, like, his ultimate goal is to just be the best.
Yeah.
Be the best.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm wondering if that's going to push people to want to make more authentic videos, and it's going to shift more towards people getting less views but making more authentic videos that make more of a cultural impact rather than just like this broad, you have to watch this because your animal instincts make you watch this.
Yes.
So we'll see if it actually changes it for the good, but that's kind of my prophecy.
I think that is going to happen. I agree. Good news, bad news. Jordan, did you know that young adults have soured on drinking alcohol? Have you heard this?
Who told you this? Because I haven't felt this.
That's
at
what
all.
I'm saying. More than half of young adults in the U.S. see even moderate drinking, 1 or 2 drinks a day, as unhealthy, according to a new Gallup poll.
That's moderate drinking is 1 to 2 a day? I would think that was like overdosing. Having 2 drinks every single day?
Yeah. Well, they're saying over half of people think that's unhealthy to do. So they're agreeing with you.
Yeah, well, sure, they can think that it's unhealthy, but they still do it.
Views on alcohol and drugs are shifting rapidly, especially among millennials and Gen Z. Americans overall now see booze as more harmful than marijuana. What do you think about that?
I don't know. This is one of those things you're reading something that I don't see in my real life.
Yeah.
So something's wrong somewhere.
Yeah.
Somebody's misreading the culture. Is it me or them?
They did a poll. Well, listen to this. This gets even weirder. This gets even weirder. A record high 39% of Americans believe moderate drinking is detrimental to health, up 11 points since 2018. Now, to have an 11-point swing in 5 years lends itself to the idea that something culturally shifted. Mm-hmm. And there's really only one big thing in that time span that happened that would necessitate that kind of shift. And it makes sense because a lot more people became alcoholics during COVID.
They saw what it could do to them.
Yeah, or they saw what it could do to their parents or their families, or their brothers or sisters.
But I still see people drink nonstop. So I think that's what I'm like. Maybe their views shifted of it, but they think, well, it can get bad, but not me.
Or they are aware that what they're doing is unhealthy,
but they're still doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's plenty of things that I do that I'm like, this is I could be doing better. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Well, that's Lord willing, nothing this detrimental. But among 18 to 34-year-olds, there was an 18-point jump, which lends itself to what we're talking about, the younger generation. 50% of Americans polled said alcohol makes no difference for health, and 10% said it is good for your health.
How many said it was?
50% said alcohol makes no difference for health.
So this is still, I don't know if this is bad news or what I'm trying to...
Wait for it.
Okay.
The whole reason we're talking about this is coming up.
Oh.
This is what's weird. But I have one more thing to tell you first. Women are more likely than men to perceive moderate drinking as unhealthy.
As unhealthy?
Yeah. So women are more likely to think that it's unhealthy than men are.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Now wait for this. Non-religious people, 47%, were more likely than Christians, 35%, to say it's harmful. So non-religious people said it was harmful. More non-religious people said it was harmful than Christians did, by a difference of 47% to 35%.
Okay, I have a theory for this.
I knew you would, so go ahead and tell me.
So the theory for this is that the youth that we grew up with, our age, they didn't drink. They weren't allowed to drink.
Exactly.
So then when COVID happened, if it's going up, then COVID happened and they're like, man, I'm just gonna, and then they start drinking more. And then they're like, well, this is pretty cool. Like, you know what I mean? They've had this big epiphany. during this few years, and so they're basically 5 to 10 years behind everybody else. They'll wake up. They'll wake up if it's not too late.
It's like Christian music or like Christian movies. It's always like a few years behind.
Yeah, and then
they'll get caught up.
And they'll get caught up. Is that what you were gonna say?
I didn't have a theory, when I read that, I was like, this doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sure Jordan will have an answer for this, and you did. You really came through.
Yeah, that's got to be it.
Cosign. I'll co-sign that. Trying to think of anything to add, but no, I think that's about right. I was weird. Wondering, like, is that good news or bad news that people that don't claim Christianity are more likely to say it's bad? So it's just that Christians are always behind the times.
Christians, they're so worried about what other people are thinking about them.
Yeah.
That's what makes them be unaware.
Hey, I'm not judging. I'm not judging whether you
right. Whereas
the non-Christians are like this screwed up my family.
Yeah, and
this is screwing me up.
Like, well, look,
Christian's like, hey, look, I drink sometimes, you know. If you want to, it's fine.
It's not real.
How many? What? What percentage of the people that said it's not the Christians? What percentage of the Christians who said it's not harmful? If you told them that 47% of non-religious people said it was harmful, they would flip.
Oh, 30, all of them, every one of them.
I think this is good news and bad news at the same time.
I do too. What a shame. All right, deep thoughts. One of the greatest sections on the show. I really try and just makes me happy. I was thinking today, or the other day, I was like, Calvinists. We think about them sometimes.
Here we go.
Calvinists are the creators of NPCs. They created the concept that there's some people that just don't matter. And other people like them, they're in the Matrix, they're Neo, they're walking around. And the other people are just eating the steak, and they don't care.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah,
that's what Cypher said.
It is. It's and that's exactly how the Calvinists believe, right? Am I wrong?
I'm sure that the Calvinists out there would have a "how dare you" response to what you just said, but yes,
but refute it.
I think
comment below and refute that.
Right. And this is coming from somebody who is sympathetic to the arguments for Calvinism.
Yeah. I'm not saying this out of hatred. I'm saying this because you originated something that's huge now, the NPC movement.
The NPC movement. In your estimation, you're saying that because there is just, in the Calvinist mind...
Oh, yeah, some people might not know.
A group of people, basically... So, okay, yeah.
I realized...
Sorry, we're deep in the weeds now. So, if... I'm still thinking about the alcohol. Just tickled my fancy. So, the Calvinist believes that if God is omnipotent and all-knowing, then he knows that there are...
he knows who is going to hell and who's not. That's what he knows.
And you don't have... And because there's no good in man, you have no... Basically, I mean, that's more what it is that because there's no good in man, you have to be saved. For there to be any good within you is that you have to accept salvation.
God himself decides if you're going to go down that route or not.
Because you couldn't do it on your own. You would have to...
There has to be some
kind of intervention, right. So if that's true, then there is indeed a group of NPCs just walking around with no hope.
Who God knows will never be helped.
Yeah.
So they're just the little players walking around.
I mean, I really don't... I'm not trying to make light of the idea because, like I said, I don't think an honest person who subscribes to Christianity could just outright reject or just it's worth a debate.
Yeah,
it's worth a debate at the absolute very least. So I'm not trying to make fun, but that is true and that is funny.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. That just popped into my head the other day out of nowhere.
Jordan, I was thinking about throughout the years when you work for yourself as we do, that revenue streams come and revenue streams go. And it's always really stressful when they leave. And so I had an experience recently where one of my side jobs kind of dried up And it always makes me a little nervous, but I think that as I've gotten older, and it's happened so many times where one stream of revenue just kind of leaves and something else ends up replacing it, or I have to go out and figure out something else to do if I want to replace that. That I'm viewing it more now as an opportunity to kind of see what will happen next rather than like as a stress.
Yeah.
Or oh no, what am I going to do now? This is exactly what I
end?
knew this was going to happen one day. And that's been helpful. And I think part of it is just getting older and running through this cycle so many times where it's like, look, this has happened before.
Yeah. Imagine being a kid and this being the first time you've gone through anything.
I know.
The agony.
And I think I've just been thinking about how it's kind of rather than seeing it as a bad thing, kind of seeing it as a chance to say, okay, all right, God, what are you gonna do next?
Then God has an NPC walk up to you and give you some little information that he prescripted and tells you exactly what you need to do as a little hint.
It's like, wow, you got to do something once.
So I'm happy for you.
Off you go.
I'm happy for you.
Will people get mad about you saying that? I wonder.
I don't know.
I think it's funny.
I thought it was funny.
That's all we got for deep thoughts this week, I think. And that was plenty.
That was. It gave me hope.
It gave me hope.
Now, Josh, I've actually seen this video that you're going to talk about.
You have?
I have. The algorithm blessed it just like it did to you.
So in 1993, this is what gave me hope this week. In 1993, at a Chicago Bulls game, a guy named Don Calhoun was chosen to make $1 million shot.
Full court shot, half court shot?
No. So what it is a 75-foot shot through the basket from a free throw line
on the
other side of the court. Okay, so when this happened, it was reported this was the first time it happened, but I guess apparently one time before a guy had won a car doing this before.
Oh, okay.
But it was still just like insane. So the guy takes the shot and makes it, which, you know, is cool enough on its own that this actually happened live at a game. But what gave me hope was that after it happened, it turned out that the guy had played college basketball. And so the insurance company that was supposed to, like, you know, pay out this kind of stuff said, well, hold on, we said when we signed up for this that it couldn't be somebody who had played any kind of professional or, you know,
college
league, college, whatever.
Yeah.
But the thing was, the guy, he disclosed, I have played college football. Or I have played college basketball. But the people in charge of the thing just let it go. So it was on them. It wasn't on him. He was not dishonest. It was no fault of his own. And then he made the shot.
On the sideline, when he made the shot, it was the Bulls and all the Michael Jordan, Pippen, and all these guys.
Everybody's out there.
It's like they're so excited.
They can't believe it. It's like he's on the team for a minute. And so he got his payout after this kind of this brief like stress of, well, am I going to get paid or not? What he found out later was that, because, and this is how he found it out, he went to go get his game ball signed by Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan was going to be in town for something.
Yeah.
And Michael Jordan actually recognized the guy and called him over.
Super recognizer himself.
Yeah, super recognizer himself, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan just asked him one question. He said, did you get paid? And the guy said, yeah, I got paid. And so he found out that Michael Jordan and the other players had gone to the team and said, "You're going to pay. You guys got to pay this guy. Like, this is ridiculous." And so the actual Chicago Bulls, not the players, but the organization itself, plus a couple of sponsors like Coke or whatever, basically went in and just started paying him out $50,000 a year for 20 years.
Yeah.
And so they got the guy paid. Michael Jordan, you know,
didn't he threaten that I think him and Pippen said that they weren't going to play like the next game or something?
I didn't hear that.
I think there were like some kind of threat.
There was some kind of threat.
Yeah. And then they.
I mean, look, I don't know. That was definitely a time where the players had a lot of sway in what was going on.
Well, those guys.
Yeah, I mean, well, those players specifically. But yeah, so that gave me hope this week. Just you know, you always like to hear a nice story about a guy you looked up to growing up. I'm a kid of the '90s. Michael Jordan was like the guy. So it was cool to hear a story about Michael Jordan.
My It Gave Me Hope is, remember when I talked about my favorite chicken, Cassie, that went to the woods, had the chicks? Well, she's gone.
She's
pretty
gone.
sure she's
What
dead.
happened to Cassie?
All the chicks are gone. So I've been sad about that. You know, it's been sad. It's been depressing. I'm out there working on this underground doghouse.
That is sad.
And I keep waiting for her to come out of the woods, pop out of the woods. She's just gone. She's got to be dead. So then the other day, I'm out there, and here comes, no, I'm working on the wall, and I look, and I see more chicks, and another chicken, and I was like, what the? So I call Sarah. Sarah, yeah. There's chicks out here. What? I'm coming outside. She hangs up. I'm just standing there like, what's going on? Like, is this Cassie's or what? And she comes out, and we're just watching, and it's like, oh, there was another chicken just randomly went in the woods, but this time survived, and now is smarter, and our garden is just overgrown because I've been working on this doghouse and doing all this stuff. I haven't had time to do anything with that. So it's just, but I like it because it overgrows, and then the chickens can go in there and be protected. So she's staying in there and hatched them, and now she basically just stays in there, comes out, gets the food, and they just follow her around.
Cassie went out there, sacrificed herself so that the other chickens would know how to do it.
Hey, don't come out in the woods.
He said, look, we don't need these men, okay?
No.
We can just, I'm going to go out and die so I can show you the wrong way to do this.
So I can show you the way.
Bless you, Cassie.
Yeah, so it's pretty awesome. Now I'm out there working on the wall, the doghouse, and I just watch them just walk around. They're just in Tucker. He just watches them. He just walks up right next to them, smells the chick, and it's like, chip, chip, and he's like, smells it and just walks away. It's hilarious. Cleo, who kills everything, she just walks right past the chicks. She like just knows that they're important to me, so she doesn't do anything to them.
That's cool.
It's the weirdest thing.
That's cool.
That was my It Gave Me Hope.
That is good.
So
that gives me hope too.
We have been given hope. We recommend.
What you got, Jordan? You got some kind of link for us? Here, I got it right here for you.
All you have to do.
Wow, a link in We Recommend.
Just watch this.
All right, let's check this out. What do we got here?
This is an Instagram guy who takes close-up pictures of the sun in video.
No.
He time lapses for like 3 hours at a time and does.
Are you serious?
Watch this,
dude.
We're not gonna
Isaac
watch it.
would love this,
Dude, it looks like hair. Look at this.
Dude, that's crazy.
Look at that. Look at this. This is all just solar. This is all just fusion.
Oh, it's
crazy as far as I understand.
Think about it's 93 million. It's almost 100 million miles away, and you can feel that heat.
We watched a thing called Solar Max at IMAX Theater years ago, and it literally changed my life. It is the reason that I'm interested in science and engineering and anything like that.
I gotta watch that. I gotta show that to the boys.
I remember when we got out of it, we were with some friends, and Dad was like, man, talking to their dad, because we were kids, and he was like, man, like, Jordan just loved that. And he was like, really? We thought it was kind of dull. That was the first moment that I had ever experienced something that changed my life and realized not everybody's like me. Like, I was so young, and I literally could not compute how somebody could walk out of that theater and not just be blown away.
Yeah.
Because it was just all these...
You just had a spiritual experience. They just watched a movie, and they were bored.
It was a cheap film they hated.
Jordan, every once in a while, I find a video game that...
Oh, you texted me. You said Jordan. And now I'm experiencing.
Now you're gonna find out. All right,
are you gonna show it to me?
I'll show it to you. So it's basically like a 2D Dynasty Warriors kind of game.
Oh wow.
Where you don't even shoot or do anything. You literally just move, and it shoots for you, and you're just trying to get through these waves of enemies. And every time you level up, you get to decide what your next weapon is. I don't know if I just saw this, I would have not been interested at all. But it is so much fun.
It looks like an arcade game.
It is a lot like an arcade game. And every time you finish a run, you know, you've acquired coins, and you can use those coins to buy upgrades that then you get from the start of the next one.
So it's a strategy of which weapon you need for this.
And it's perfect for me because I can sit there and play it for like 10 minutes and then just put it away. And that's how I have to play games at this point in my life. You know, if I still want to play games, which I do, responsibly, which I do, I can only sit there for like 10 minutes at a time. Maybe at the end of the night, maybe during the day when everybody's doing something else. It's great. I really like it. And it's like $5. Vampire Survivors. I don't know why it's called that. I don't know why it has this weird, creepy, liquid hell, death, whatever it's called stuff.
Oh yeah, liquid hell death.
It's not anything like that, okay? I don't think anybody like prayed any curses over anybody on this.
It doesn't.
It's
look
just
like,
a
that
fun
doesn't
game.
give me that vibe.
Okay, you don't get the vibe? No. All right. Okay, Jordan, wow, you really teased something big here.
I did. It's my facial recognition of the day. This is where we have to, every week, every day actually, I come across a face that just is somebody else that I recognize. And I used to not save them. I would just
start saving them.
I've saved them now.
Okay.
And so I'm going to show you
for posterity.
I'm going to show you
look.
this face that I came across online. I'm looking at science stuff. So I saw this science guy, dude, on Twitter, and I thought, this looks exactly like somebody. So here's the guy.
All right.
Who does he look like? This is somebody.
Okay, so when his picture was smaller, I was going to say Stephen Christian from Amberlin. But then when I saw him bigger, I know he looks like somebody, but I don't. Oh, hold on. No, it's Steve Zahn. It's the guy from That Thing You Do. The guy in the really nice camper was put her song on the radio.
No, but I would say that his face falls into this pattern a little bit.
Who is it? Oh. It's our buddy from It's Church Chat.
Look at how similar they look.
I know, that is pretty wild. Wow, that's cool.
Well, so
that's a
there
good
you go.
one. What a fun idea for a little segment.
Well, is that the end of the episode?
That's it.
Wow, guys.
Okay, Kelly is 41 weeks pregnant now.
Let's see how long this goes.
We went today and they said everything is fine. Baby's doing well. He just wants to stay in there a while longer. I don't blame him. Why would you want to leave your home?
That's what they said when they locked us up in COVID. Why would you want to leave?
Like, are you masked up in there?
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll talk to you guys next time. See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.